Okay, I am probably not ready for the amount of hate that the right-wing basement social media crusaders are going to drop on my page once they find this video, but I don't really give a shit because this video is not for you. This video is about the fucking great abortion that I had, and it really was fucking great. And I really feel compelled to share my story because I feel like there's a narrative in America, especially right now, that it's going to be the deepest, darkest secret that you'll keep. It'll be the most traumatic and dramatic experience of your life. It will cause you to fall into a deep depression of regret, and you will hate yourself because of it. And that's just like not true at all. At least that wasn't my experience. And I absolutely recognize that I am a white woman. I absolutely recognize that I live in a blue state and that my level of privilege has afforded me the opportunity to have the most successful abortion that I could have. But I believe that that right belongs to every woman and person with a uterus living in America and living in the world. And I think that to dismantle the narrative that it is 100% terrible and awful and horrible needs to start with women telling their actual abortion stories. We read these op-eds and we read these accounts of women who have to jump through these enormous hoops to be able to get health care. And I just think that when you have the access, it is not that difficult of a choice to make. And my experience was, I found out that I was pregnant and I immediately knew that I didn't want to be. And I immediately knew that I didn't want to be a mother. And so I had to find a new gynecologist because my gynecologist did not do abortions, because many do not. And I found an incredible physician, and I'll never forget this. She encouraged me to use my health insurance. I was absolutely set on just getting the prescription and taking the pills and having an abortion in the four walls of my apartment and lying on my bathroom floor, crying in agony and pain and tears. And she looked me in the eye and she said, "You have health insurance, why don't you use it?" And I never really considered what that could possibly mean until she explained all of my options. And she encouraged me to get a D&C, and I did. And that afforded me an operating nurse, an anesthesiologist, my surgeon was there, my doctor, and I was in a hospital in an operating room, and I was safe and I was cared for and I was monitored. And my procedure took less than 15 minutes. I woke up and I had actually just gotten over COVID at the time, so I was wearing a mask. And the most difficult part about my procedure was having COVID and not being really able to breathe. Other than that, my abortion procedure was painless and quick and easy. And I was released that evening, and I went home and I watched movies and ordered in, and it really didn't change my life at all. And I don't want to say that and like minimize any person's experience who had to have an abortion for health reasons or had to have an abortion because their pregnancy was not viable. I recognize that that is extremely difficult and traumatic, especially when you're trying to grow your family and something like that happens. I absolutely hold space for those individuals, but I didn't want to be a mother, and I just simply chose not to be. And it wasn't really difficult to make that choice, and my life didn't really change at all after that. What did happen was I actually started choosing myself more and championing my own needs and wants, and I became a more vocal and present and mentally stable person because of it. Because if I had been forced to have a baby, if I had been forced to have a child, if I had been forced to carry a pregnancy when I knew that the health of my body would not support the pregnancy in the best way possible, that would have killed me. And it's just that simple. And that opportunity to be able to choose what is the best for you is what freedom and what America represents. And unfortunately, if you've read a singular headline, or if you have followed the news even in the slightest for all of history, we're not really a country that supports freedom and opportunity for all Americans, and that has to change. And it is my hope that with sharing my positive abortion experience, that more women will feel comfortable to say, yeah, I had an abortion and it really wasn't that traumatic or terrible, and it was actually great, and it was the best thing for me. So feel free to stitch this video with your abortion story should you feel so inclined, or share this with someone who can't seem to understand that women deserve the right to choose their body autonomy. I did it and I'd do it again.